Hey guys, Big 33 here with another tutorial for RPG Maker 2 for PlayStation 2. This is going to be a tutorial on how to make a turn-based battle system. I'm not sure how long this is going to take, so I'll just try to go through here. The first thing I want to do is go to File, Load, and I'm going to load template. I think I'm going to load this one. See what I got. I try to keep a predominantly empty file to use as a base for my videos. As you can see, I've got a lot of data I can use. If we take a look at my scripts, I have some stuff set up here already. You can see down here these. I'm going to start by something pretty simple, which is go to graphics and character models. And you can see I've designed some models here. I've got one model and I've got another model. And these are the two models I'm going to use. So the first thing I want to do is create a script. And what that's going to be is an attack that does damage. And I want that to be for the main character. So I'm going to go to scripts and create a script. And go to create new data. I'm going to call this Scorch. This will be the name of the attack. And what this is going to do is cause damage. And how I'm going to calculate this is I'm going to take and alter a variable. And what a variable is, it's just a number that you designate between a specific number. And you can add, take away, multiply, divide this number to get a result. I already have some variables that I'm going to use. One of which is going to be roll the percent, which is basically a random number generator. And I'm going to have that equal between six and 9. And to get it to equal between these numbers, I go down to this symbol, and it creates a random number between the first and second numbers, or inputs, which can also be variables, which are basically numbers given specific values. So now we have the number. It's going to equal between 6 and 9. And then I want to do something else here. I want to take and alter this variable. So I'm going to go into variable and go back to roll the percent and have it equal itself minus 1. So it's going to calculate the damage and subtract 1. That'll be useful because it gives us a good ratio. Now to get this damage to be dealt to the enemy, there's a couple of things I have to do. So just go to data, variable, and go to enemy damage and have it equal our roll the percent, which we just changed. So now it is equal to the equation we just set up. That number is now equal to our damage. So we'll have that plus a fixed, a set rate of 0. I don't like using the fixed because it doesn't always work out. So I'll do that. And then to get the damage dealt to the enemy, I have to go to data, variable, and alter the enemy HP, which is another special variable I've set up to represent the hit points of the enemy, and then have it equal itself minus our damage. So basically what we're doing here, we're creating a number and then we're turning it into damage and then taking the damage away from said hit points. And these are all my own variables. So that's all we need to do for the math. I'm going to create some text here. So create a message and say Cindersol scorches the enemy. And then another text, the enemy anemone loses I don't think that's right. I think that's right. Loses, and then put a space here, and then we'll keep the window open. We'll close this window, and then I want a couple of things here. I want to go to other and wait, and I want this to be 38 frames, and then I want a screen display of content and have it display our damage. And then copy this weight and paste it, and then go to text, clear message. And what this right here will do is set a text, wait, create a number that equals the damage, wait, and then close the message. So I'll close our text box here. And that should be all we need for that. So I'm done with that. I'm going to create another script here, and we're going to call this Ghostly be a little creative. Gas form. And what this is going to do is prevent damage. So we'll create data here, and data variable gas form count, which I already have set up, and we'll have it equal itself a number between 2 and 3. So it'll equal a number between 2 and 3. And for that to happen, I'm going to create a condition. And what this is it sets parameters for something to happen. Conditions for something to be met. And my condition is going to be if my gas form count is equal to or less than that symbol 0, then random number there. And then if count is equal to or greater than this symbol 1, then script, I'll get to that later. This is all I need for this right now, almost. So I'll put some text here. If the skill is already active, it will say Syndrasol is using guest form currently. That's all I need to have there for now. And then here I can put Syndrasol becomes ghostly. That's all I need there. So update that. And then I'm going to create a new script. And this is going to be the script for the player. And we'll call this Syndrasol. And create data system, confirm memberability, and then data variable ability number equals 2 plus set 0 data load ability info. So what this will do, this will set the ability number and then load that ability number's info and then confirm the member has it. To set up that the member has it, we have to recognize that the member is there. So I have to go into data variable member number and have it set to 0, which is Syndrasol, our first member, which is always going to be 0. And then go to data, member info, load, and then confirm memberability. And a few more bits of information here. If if has magic is on, so if Syndrasol has Scorch, then screen display text message use Scorch. And then multiple choice input creation, multiple choice. Yes. Just make this even more simple. Use. If only my brain was working. Don't And that should be functional. And then if it is don't, we don't want anything to happen because we want it to go to the next option. So we're gonna leave the don't empty. And with the do, we're going to go to script, call script, and scorch. And then copy this all right here. Copy. And then paste beneath the don't. And then go to use guest form. And then again, input creation, multiple choice, 2 options, use and don't. And we want to leave this don't blank again because we want this to wrap. And then down here, I'm going to put script branch to top so that if nothing was selected, it returns to the top of the page. And then if we did select gas form, then script, call script, gas form. And that selects our 2 moves. To get this to work correctly, we need to create an enemy page. So our enemy is going to be a water enemy, Mercy. And the first thing I'm going to do is set up a condition, which is going to be a script branch condition if gas form count is equal to or greater than 1, this symbol. Then data variable enemy damage is equal to 0. I can change, or do I want that here? I think I want that on the other page. So I'll delete that and then go into my other script here and paste it. I actually want this, so I'm going to copy that. Delete it. And then put it here. And paste. So that when Mercy starts, if gas form count is 1 or higher, enemy damage will be reduced to 0. I think I want that at the bottom. So I need some attacks for Mercy. So I'm just going to create 2 attacks for Mercy. One is going to be Spout. That's going to be a water attack. And we'll type in some text here. Mercy shoots a spout of water. Screen display, text, message, Centrosoul, space. No, I don't need a space yet. Receives, space. Then screen display content which can be an input or a variable or text or so on. And this is going to be enemy damage. So enemy damage, and then have a weight here above it for 38 frames. Copy that, paste it, and then screen display text, clear message. So there's that. And then up here, I'm going to go to data, variable, and alter our roll the percent between 4 and 8, and then copy it. And have it equal itself minus 1. So it's a little lower than the other one, but reasonable. And then here we're going to go to data, variable, member number, which is 86, and have it equal 0. And then go to data, member info, load, and then go again to data, variable, 97 HP hit points, and have it equal itself minus enemy damage. So now we've created a way to deal damage for the enemy. But to get this to work, we need to do a couple things. I need to do something here, so I need to go to data, system. This will turn this attribute into a number. And then I go to, again, data, system, substitute variable for attribute. And this will turn that number back into an attribute. So now that gets calculated. And then to get that to process, I need to go to data, member info, and save. And this will say member number 1, which is Cinder Soul, hit points. Right now this system only works for one character. There are ways you can get around this. I might explain that later in this video, I don't know. So I'll leave that alone. I'll create another script, call this tail strike, and then create a variable here and go to data, variable, roll the percent is a random number between 2 and 9. Needs to be random. It can't just be 2 plus 9 or that's 11. So random number between 2 and 9, and then data, variable, our random number generator is equal to itself minus 1. And that covers the damage, except for this, which is data, variable, member number, 0, data, member info, load, and then again with attribute for variable, variable for attribute, our HP attribute, and then have it equal itself. Minus enemy damage. So yeah, roll the percent equal that number. So enemy damage has to equal roll the percent for this to work. So go to enemy damage equals roll the percent plus 0. So this will calculate the damage. And then we go to screen display content variable. Enemy damage. And then have our weights in here for 38 frames. And then screen display text, clear message. And this again will post our reduction and then clear it and calculate the damage with this equation. Okay, that's done. I might have to change this, so let's see here. Number random. Yep. Okay. So to get Mercy to work correctly, we need to put this down here. And then go to data, variable, random number between 1 and 3. And then a condition if our random number here has to be a number, not a flag. So let's see. Roll the percent is equal to 1. And we're going to have a procession here if it's equal to 2 or 3 and 1. So 1, 2, or 3. And then if equal to 1, script, call script, spout. If equal to 2, script, call script, tail strike. And if equal to 3, screen display text message. Mercy is waiting. So this will give a break for the player right here. What we want down here is for script end, and we want this counter here to copy and delete. I'm going to place this in each of these. I didn't realize I would need to, but I'm going to force script in each of these. And then call a script, which is going to be Cinder Soul, and then copy that and paste it beneath each of these so it functions properly, and then update that. And then under Cinder Soul, go down to each of these commands here, and beneath each one, once you've chosen what you're going to do, it's going to go to the enemy. So how we're going to do that is go to Events, Control, Change, New Event, and it's going to be event number 117, Enemy. But to get that to work, we need to go to Data, Variable, and alter the number for the event number, which is going to be the event we just selected, 117 plus nothing. And then events, control, event info load, events, control, start on, and then underneath the change, events, control, save. So I'll change to the event, and then we want to go to script, for script in. So I'll copy all that. No, I didn't want to do that. Okay. So I'll have to do this again. Go to data, event number, go to event number 117 plus nothing, go to events, control, load, events, control, start on, in case it's set to off, events, control, change, new event, enemy, number 117, and then events, control, save. And what this does is it tells which event to load, turn on, change to, and save as. So that's how that works. Then I'm going to go to script, for script in, go up here and copy, not delete, and then go down and paste here, and go up to magic number 4. I don't know if I have these correct, but I will see. So I'll go to game, abilities, and I have some abilities set up here. I have Gas and Scorch already set up. It's 2 and 3. So I have to go to scripts, Cinder Soul, 3. Okay, should work. Okay, and then let me see. So I need an event, so I'll go to scripts, events. I already got one called enemy. I'm just going to change something. I'm going to go to enemy, and here under enemy mercy, I'm going to choose mercy. And this should operate correctly. To get this to load, I need to go to game, general settings, basic, mercy, and I've already set my map. I don't need mercy in the party, so I can't do that. But I have to have Cinder Soul for it to work, so I'm gonna set her to 112. Oh, 12. Wait, is it 012? That's 8. 816. And then test play and start to see how this operates. Okay. So I need something else here. I need to go to scripts. You can go to spout here, and under roll the percent, I need to go to data, variable, enemy damage equals roll the percent plus nothing. That's all that. And then I need a paste here. No, I don't. What I need here is script branch condition variable. Gas form count is equal to or greater than 1. Data variable. Enemy damage equals 0. And then copy that and paste it for tail strike here. And then I'll start. In case the enemy attacks. I don't think the enemy is going to attack. Let me see if I can do this a little different. I did set it between 1 and 3. Okay. Start and see what happens. Why is she waiting? I don't want to use that. I want to use gas form. Receives 0. Use scorch. Use. Okay. So now to change a few things. Spout will go down here to receives, and then under the variable here we'll put a message. Damage. Copy. Paste it in a few places. I'm going to need it in one more place here. And that should be energy. See if this works. So you see the enemy waits. asks us if we want to use our attack. We have two choices. As you can see, there's no space in the energy, so I can change that. Go here. Space. There needs to be a space because when displaying content, there is no space before or after. So with pretense, you have to put a space before, and with something after, you need to put a space after. So now to go scorch, and since this is after our content, space before. And then see if this works. I'm almost done. I don't want to use scorch, I want to use gas form so I can show you what it's doing. But I can't use scorch. So apparently my gas form is still working. I can scorch the enemy. And my gas form isn't going to go down because I haven't changed it. I just thought of this. If we go to Cinder Soul here, we go to the top. We want this the condition to be at the top. And we're going to have the condition be at the variable. Gas form count is equal to or greater than 1. Then gas form count is going to equal itself minus 1. So it's going to subtract 1 if it is 1 or more. So as long as it's above 1, it'll take away 1. If not, it'll just keep being 0. So use gas form. Mercy's waiting. Mercy likes to wait. So our gas form is still active. The enemy is about to die. Gas form is still active. I don't think she's quite dead. 4 damage. So the gas form is no longer active. I currently have some other scripts active which is going to kill the enemy. At least I think it will. It should. It might not. Yeah, the enemy is just going to continue here. So to get the enemy to dissolve, we need to go into its script and create something. Here. And have it be a script branch condition if enemy HP is equal to or less than 0, this symbol, 0, then data flag. Enemy dead. On. And that'll signify that the enemy is defeated. And this flag basically tells the game the enemy is gone when it's on. To make that happen, I'm going to go to Events, Control, and Temporary Removal. That's going to remove the event. And then Party, Teleport, Warp to Preset World. And I don't have anything set up for the script yet where we can go to the battle, but we will return. So let's try this. And I'll just scorch the enemy until it's defeated. Might take about 4 or 5 times. So that's 2, 3, 4, and 5, maybe 6 times, maybe 7 times. See, 6 times. So receive 7 damage. 7 times in battle. So that is an example of how to set up an enemy turn-based system for RPG Maker 2 for PlayStation 2. As you can see, my map wasn't working, but I'm not entirely sure why that was. But I can probably fix that. Anyway, that's a rundown of how to run the script. I'm going to be covering this later. Go over some other things like experience and gold. And a few other tips. Hopefully you learned something from this. And again, enjoy.